Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game So Tarragon, I'm here to talk about the good news. That is because as of late yesterday, Smash Remix got updated to 2.0.1 status, and even though 0.0.1 doesn't really sound like a fundamental difference, this absolutely is a very big upgrade to Smash Remix, probably the best version I've ever played. And honestly, every time you think about Smash Remix, you think to yourself, how could the developers possibly fit anything more into this game? Because at this point in time, Smash Remix is basically like 10 Smash 64s duct taped together in all the best ways possible. But I'm here to tell you the developers managed to make some changes, add new features and modes, and just basically make this the even more quintessential version of Smash Brothers that we all know, love, and remember. Because trust me, this is definitely worth the upgrade, and we're going to be going over some of the changes today. Before we get too far involved, though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. And before you leave the comment down below, no, I am not the best Smash player in the world. My fighting games definitely hew way towards more 2D SNK and Capcom stuff. But I've been playing this game for a while now, and I'm sure you're all better than I am, and you can leave me that comment in the comments down below. But for what I lack in absolute competitive skill in Smash, I more than make up for it in enthusiasm of loving stuff like this. And interestingly, this is not an N64 decomp, recomp, or PC port, and that should be obvious, but when I get requests for games to get instantaneously recomped or ported to PC, I hear Smash Remix, not the original Smash. That is how incredibly good this game is and has been for a long time. To the point in time now where people talk about PC ports of this, they don't talk about the Nintendo developed version, they talk about the community developed version. And you'll see here it has hit 2.0.1 status, and I will leave a link in the description below so you can go over all of the different individual changes, because trust me, there are dozens upon dozens, probably up to 100 lines here of just changes on different character attributes and stats. Because Smash Remix is a living, breathing thing, and it always changes for the better. But you're going to see there are a bunch of new improvements to the stages as well, and that's something that can be visually noticed. Even if the changes aren't always the fundamentally biggest things in the world, you are going to get an effectively prettier looking Smash as well. Now this is a quick snippet of the Smash YouTube channel. I will leave a link for the entire video down below, but you will see that this has definitely gotten a lot prettier, and that is definitely a positive thing. And just so you know, I'm mixing in some Rosalie's Moopin GUI here, as well as real N64 footage, because you can basically play this across any single platform you want, however you want. The only wrong way to play Smash Remix is to not play it in the first place. Now popping back over to Rosalie's Moopin GUI with the Glide plugin. Absolutely stunning, and you can go into the menu and enable the high polygon models for the entirety of the gameplay, because obviously we're not dealing with N64 base spec stats here. And it's one of those things, if you have Analogue 3D, if you have Mr. FPGA, you can play these as well, overclock them, and see how far you can push it. But honestly, this is just definitely a look I love here with the higher poly models. But the fun thing about Smash Remix is you really get to make it your own. You can go from classic to tournament, you can go ahead and just tell people they're only allowed to use the original roster and to ignore all the new characters. You can change, eliminate, or add stages in, and you can basically turn this into a pure vanilla experience with all of the different quality of life improvements that Smash Remix brings, or you can throw absolutely everything against the wall and make the most chaotic version of Smash that you possibly can. And I really love that kind of granular control over what the developers allow here. And now in this new version, with a lot of different changes to the different attributes of the characters, new stages, and even a new tug-of-war game mode, basically the best thing already got even better. And again, if you've never gone through some of the actual settings here, remix settings, stock settings, everything else, you're going to see that this is basically all-encompassing. You can change whatever you want, and even I don't know what some of these things actually change around. This is definitely some deep-cut Smash fan stuff out there, but for the people that love this and absolutely just want to get further into it, it is one of those things. Nothing beats Smash Remix. It is probably the single most impressive N64 ROM hack that's ever been made, and honestly, it is so huge at this point in time, I struggle to even call it a ROM hack. Because this is why retro gaming is making a comeback, fans keeping games alive and making them so much better than they ever were before. Let's go into the first of two soundtrack samples. We're here on original hardware. We'll go back to Rosalie's in just a moment, but enjoy because it is good. Honestly, whether you're listening to the original music that would have come with Smash back on the N64 days, if you're listening to any of the remix tracks or playing the levels, you're absolutely getting some of the best music ever set to an N64 game. And again, just playing around with what you can do with this thing, I really do want to mix up together real hardware footage or FPGA cores, whatever you want to call it, along with software emulation that can improve the overall N64 vibes. Because it really is nice. Not only does Smash Remix give you the ability to create the Smash experience you want, but you have different ways to play. But on real hardware, this is going to need an expansion RAM card, just so you know that. But it's one of those things, if you're on FPGA cores, that's going to automatically be built in. If you have real hardware and a flash card, you probably already have the 4MB expansion anyway. That's one of those things I don't really think I need to warn you, but I'm always going to say it just in case. And the best part is, if somehow you've never played Smash Remix before, the website has its own built-in patcher, and they keep an encyclopedic basic list of all of the different versions of Smash Remix that have ever been made. So if you want to play some of the earliest versions, you just go ahead and select that. But by default, 2.0.1 will be at the top. All you do is add in your definite owned legal copy of Smash Remix and go ahead and hit the patch button, and you'll be totally fine. I think I said Smash Remix, I just meant Smash Brothers there. And sometimes Smash just basically does some of those hilarious things. Crash Bandicoot versus Crash Bandicoot, absolutely love this area. This level looks even better now, and it's one of those things. Watch what happens to the CPU version of Crash. He basically decides he's not going to win this match, so he goes and basically just slams himself straight into oblivion, giving up. I don't think I've ever actually seen that before, but it definitely made me laugh when I watched it. And if you have seen that, leave me a comment down below. But again, this is why N64, as I keep saying in videos, is absolutely having a new golden era between all of the different ways to play on FPGA, all of the different overclocking we have, all of the different ROM hacks, and the infinite amount of emulation options we have to play N64 games. We have never been playing N64 as good as we have in 2026, and stuff like Smash Remix getting a new update, an unexpected one at least for me at that, definitely keeps kind of driving home just how much fun people are having on N64. And Smash Remix has been around for a really long time, and it really makes me wonder what else the developers could tuck into another release in the future. But they surprise me every single time with every new release. That's one of those things. I'm sure they have something up their sleeve for absolutely everyone to play around with, and we're just going to have to wait and see it. But you leave me a comment down below and you tell me, if you could add one thing to Smash Remix, what would it be? I would be really curious. And honestly, I can't really think of anything fundamental that I would add that would give me a better experience. So I just say add Superman from Superman 64 in for the laughs, and we'll just be done with that. But again, I am not a massive Smash player. I play it casually with friends and definitely enjoy taking a look at the new version of Smash Remix. But if you put me up against anyone who knows how to play this game better than I do, I'm absolutely going to get destroyed by them every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But that is the other thing. You don't need to be amazing at a game to have fun with it. And it's one of those things, one day when I have more time, I will try to get better at Smash. But I just love the ROM hack community for going out of their way to just basically keep giving us newer and better versions of a game that already started out amazingly fun. And it's one of those things. This launched the entire franchise that we still have. We're at the second soundtrack sample, and I'll be right back with more. It's a good thing Yoshi's Story had a great showing in Smash, because honestly Yoshi's Story may be the worst Yoshi game ever made in the mainline franchise in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a terrible game, I'm just saying coming from Yoshi's Island and going to Yoshi's Story may be the biggest drop off in quality of any game in Nintendo's history. You leave me a comment down below and you tell me if you can think of one that would be even more dramatic of a drop off. Pun very much intended for the fact that you have to fall off the stage here in Smash to either win or lose. And I just can't believe that dedicated fans spend this much time and this much energy basically trying to give us all a better thing. And of course, because it is a Nintendo property, this is all done completely for free. No one really makes anything off this whatsoever, even if I was an idiot and just basically ran right into that explosive barrel, killing myself in the process. And this is just why N64 fans are always getting something new and fun. because the reality of the situation is the N64 library, at least on retail, is anemic compared to PlayStation 1 and N64. That's not to say it doesn't have some iconically good games, it's just to say that compared to those other two consoles, there weren't that many games made for the N64, and one of the best games ever made for it is not anything that came out in the retail library. It is basically a ROM hack and improvement of Smash Brothers. You know full well that is a high quality mark to hit. So trust me, if you haven't played the new version yet, link is in the description down below. Definitely check it out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.